Hello and welcome to this quick start guide to using the Times of London and the Sunday Times databases at the Mardigan Library at the University of Michigan Dearborn. I am your social sciences librarian, T. Gorblich, and if you have any questions about any of the material that I'm going to cover in this quick start guide, please be sure to contact me at my contact information that is now on the screen. So let's go ahead and get into the Times of London. And getting into the Times of London requires that we go through the library's homepage. The URL is listed at the top of the screen. And once you get into the library's homepage, then you can go down to the section where it says Databases. And then you'll be able to go into the subject section, and I would recommend going in through the newspapers section, and then you'll be able to get into the Times of London there. And you will also notice the wide variety of newspaper collections that the library has access to for research in other areas when the time is appropriate. So you just simply need to scroll down the list until you see the Times of London. It's going to be near the bottom, so we'll kind of try to zip down there so we can get into the database and proceed with a search. And here we are. The Times of London Digital Archive, 1785 to 2006. And we're in the Times of London and we're ready to search for materials within this publication. And the first thing you'll need to notice is the search window at the top of the screen. You can plug in the terms that you want to search for in that first window there. Also, note the ways that you can search for the information. You can search in the entirety of all the available documents. You can also search for keywords, and then you can also search for terms in the article titles. Those would probably be the most useful searches, unless of course you had a particular author that you wanted to look for. Okay, but we're going to leave it in the entire document for the time being, and I would be as specific as possible. A sure indicator that you have too broad of a topic is if you get back thousands of documents in your search results list. At that point you would have to add in more terms and do some things to narrow the search down. So let's try to start with being as specific as possible. Okay. Also, you have a publication date range that you can look through. You can specify it to any date range that you want. And then also, it's worth noting that you have sections that you can look through. Probably the most important sections for our purposes would be the news section, and then also the editorial and commentary section. Now, just a little bit on what an editorial and commentary piece is. These are mostly opinions of the paid journalists within the particular publication. Okay. Now, the Times of London is a well-respected publication, so their editorials and commentaries over the years will probably tend to be quite useful. All right. So now let's consider some terms to search for. If we wanted to search for, say, for instance, information on Arab-Israeli relations, maybe the Arab-Israeli conflict for a particular period in time, we could do that here. But let's just try to search for information to start with for just Arab-Israeli relations. And I'm going to leave the date alone for the time being. And again, this will be a good way that we can further restrict the search later on. Okay, so now we're getting back 43 items. Okay, that's really not as many as I would have thought. But again, we are focusing on just one publication. So we may have to play around with the terminology a little bit to figure things out. Okay, so if we wanted to look at any of these articles, we could just simply click where it says article, Arab-Israeli relations. Number 2 here is what I want to look at. Just click where it says article, and the article will appear. And you'll be able to read it, you'll be able to print it out. Whatever you want to do with this particular article is up to you at this point. Okay? So if we go back, and let's say we want to limit this by, a type of article, we could do that by just simply going into that particular area. We could click on editorials, we could click on feature articles, and so on. All right? So we could also indicate the publication, how we want to view these in ascending order, descending order, relevance, and so on. All right, we can also search within the results as well, so that we can maybe pick up articles that have particular terms that maybe we are looking for. Okay, so you could go through these and figure out which ones you want to use, and then go from there. And then obviously you can modify your search. The results really will depend on the topic that you're typing in. So keep that in mind as well. So this is pretty straightforward. It's not an extremely difficult database to utilize. If we want, we can go back and we can change the terms again. We can, add a particular date range if we want. So let's just try Arab-Israeli relations and a particular date range. Let's do something between, say for instance, the 1st of May in 1967, which is the year of the Six-Day War. So let's click 1967, and let's do till the end of, or the beginning of August. And just see what happens. Okay, so we didn't find anything. That is really odd. But let's try Arab-Israeli conflict. Maybe it doesn't like the word relation in that particular instance. Okay, so we're only getting 3. Israel and the Arabs, the Times Diary. Let's see what this Israel and the Arabs article is about. Okay, it is a letter to the editor. Okay, so again, we can go back and we can refine this search as much as we want. And again, it's worth noting though that your search results list will be dictated by the terminology that you use. Okay, so just because we're not getting a lot of material at this point, you may have to just continue to play around with the terminology to get better results or more results. Okay, so just try out this publication and you will most likely find material on whatever topic it is that you're looking into. Now, there is yet another component of the Times of London. If you search the Times of London, the digital archives from 1785 to 2010, it does not include the Sunday issue of the Times. That is a separate database and a separate tool that you need to search. It looks exactly the same, but it covers just the Sunday issue of this publication. So if we go back to the library's list of newspapers, we see just a little bit above the Times of London archive, we see the Sunday Times digital archive. And the same concept here is you just click on it and you'll be able to go into the Times of London, the Sunday version. Okay, so very similar. The only thing that's really different is the color on the interface. Okay, so it works the same way as the regular version of the Times of London. So I'm going to leave it to you to try out the Sunday Times. And this has been a quick start guide to using the Times of London and the Sunday Times at the Mardigan Library at the University of Michigan Dearborn. If you have any questions about this quick start guide, please be sure to contact me and my contact information that is now listed on the screen. Thank you for viewing this quick start guide, and I hope it was useful. Thank you.